With some other remaining theorems from trees. Prove this theorem. This is a simple one. Let C1, C2, Ck be k connected components of the graph Z. Okay, and suppose that for each I, that is I means Ci, I less than equal to 1, 1 less than equal to k, I less than equal to k. This one is 1 less than equal to I less than k. Let there be ni number of vertices. Each Ci has ni vertices. Then the total number of vertices is equal to n is equal to n1 plus n2 plus n3. This is the number of total number of vertices. Okay, each Ci is a tree. Why? Because it is given that G be an acyclic group without cycle. That means Ci is a tree. And also it has ni minus 1 number of edges. And we know we have done one previous theorem that in each tree, if there are n number of vertices, then there are n minus 1 number of edges. Okay, and so since each edge of G belongs to each edge of G, suppose if you take G, each edge of G belongs to each and every component of G. Okay, that means suppose G has, let us suppose G has 3 edges, then these 3 edges belongs to precisely some components of G. Okay, therefore the total number of edges in G is, what will be the total number of edges? In each component there are ni minus 1. So n1 minus I plus n2 minus I plus nk minus 1. So this implies n1 plus n2 plus nk, and 1 1 1 there are number k number of 1. So this is equal to n minus k number of edges. So this is the proof of the theorem. Let n vertices of E be U and V. They are simple in this case. Okay, look, W of G means number of connected components. Okay, W of G minus E means number of connected components in G minus E, and W of G plus 1 is number of plus 1. We are just adding 1. Okay, suppose number of connected component in W of G be k. Okay, now let n vertices of E be U and V. Okay, if U to V, this is an edge, and let us suppose that there is a different path from U to V. Okay, because G is just simply a graph. Let us suppose that there is a different path from U to V also. So if you delete this E, then still this U and V remains connected. That means this will never form another connected component, because if you have a graph something like this, okay, and this is U and V, okay, and since this is one path from U to V and this is another path from U to V, okay, so if you take out this E, this whole graph still remains connected. Okay, so there will be no change in number of components. So in that case, W of G will be equal to W of G minus E. The number of components remains same. But if there is only one path from U to V, suppose you don't have this path. Okay, U to V is this one. Okay, there is only one path from U to V. Is that clear? So suppose this is E, and just remove this one E, and V will remain, will become disconnected from that whole graph. So instead of one component, now this whole graph will become two components. One is this and another one is this, two components. So the component increases. That's why W of G is less than W of G minus G. Is that clear? So number of component increases when there is only single path from U to V. But if there is two paths or three paths from U to V, the number of components remains same. That's why W of G is less than or equal to W of G minus E. Okay, so this first part is proved. I think you can prove yourself. Just write yourself. Okay, try to prove yourself. Okay, if you need a note, you can just ask me. I can send you a note also. Okay, and next thing is W of G minus E is less than your W of G plus 1. Okay, now again, when they are equal, W of G plus 1, when, okay, in this case, W of G minus, again the same thing. Okay, let us suppose there are only one single path from U to V. So if you remove this, one component increases. Okay, this component increases. So W of G minus E is equals to W of G plus 1. Okay, but if there are two components, there are two paths from U to B, so component remains as it is. Okay, so W of G minus E will be equal to W of G. Okay, and if we add 1, then W of G minus E is less than W of G plus 1. Is that clear? That's why less than or equal to. So this is the proof of this theorem. We have got two theorems over here. This first theorem says that let G be a connected graph. Then G is a tree if and only for every edge E of G, the subgraph G minus E has two components. Okay, so that means if we delete E from that graph G, then the whole graph will become disconnected graph. So it will be divided into two connected component graph. Okay, so this thing is your home task. You try to do yourself. It's an easy one. Okay, you try to do yourself. We'll do this second one. That second theorem. Let G be a graph with n vertices and q edges. Okay. Then G has at least n minus W of G edges. What is W of G? This is the number of component of graph G. Okay, that is Q is always greater than or equal to n minus W of Z. Okay, so we'll prove this theorem using induction. Q means number of edges is always greater than or equal to n minus W of G. W of G means number of components of a graph. Okay, let us prove through induction. We start from Q equals to 0. Q equals to 0 means there is no edge in this whole graph. That means all the n vertices are disconnected. There is no edge in between the n vertices. So number of component is n number of components. Okay, so what is n minus W of G then? This is equal to n minus W of G means n number of components which is equal to 0. Therefore Q is also 0. 0 greater than equal to 0. So Q is equal to 0. 0 is always greater than equal to 0. You can write 0 greater than equal to 0. Therefore Q is greater than equal to n minus W of G. Okay, so we have started from Q equals to 0. Usually while doing mathematical induction we start from Q equals to 1. Okay, but in this case we have started from Q equals to 0. But still, if you are not satisfied using Q equals to 0, you can also check using Q is equals to 1 whether the given statement is true or not for Q is equals to 1. Okay, so Q equals to 1 means the number of edges is 1. Let that edge be from U to V and the remaining other edge, and the number of remaining other edges n minus 2 number of vertices is number of remaining vertices are n minus 2. So number of components over here is n minus 2 because number of vertices is n minus 2, the number of component is also n minus 2. different component plus number of one component is this u v. Okay, so total number of component is n minus 2 plus 1, which is equal to n minus 1. So therefore, total number of component w of g can be written as either or greater than or equal to n minus 1. Okay, why it is equals to n minus 1 and why it is greater than n minus 1? Because if u is equals to v, okay, if I write u, if this u and v are same vertices, okay, then the number of component increases. Okay, it may be that case that if u and v are the same vertices, if u is equals to v, number of component increases. That's why I have written w of g greater than or equal to n minus 1. So from here you can write that 1 is greater than or equals to n minus w of g. What is 1? Q, because the age is 1, so therefore Q is greater than or equal to n minus w of. This is your the theorem is true for Q is equals to 1. Now let us assume that theorem is true for some n is equals to k. The statement is true for n equals to k. Now we have to prove that. To prove for n is equals to k plus 1, we have to prove that the theorem is true for graph of not n, sorry, for age q q is equals to k plus 1 number of ages. Now let us from this k plus 1 ages select one age e and subtract it from g minus e. So g minus e has number of ages k because we have subtracted 1, and for ages k the given statement is always true, yes or no? So we can write this k, number of ages is k, is greater than or equals to n minus w of g minus e. Is that clear? Okay, now again we have done just now we have done one theorem that w of g minus e is always less than or equal to w of g plus 1, yes or no? So in this case also w of g minus e is always less than or equals to w of g plus 1. Now write minus both the sides, so minus w of g minus e is greater than or equal to minus w of g minus 1. Now you can put these values in that model, k greater than n minus w, because there is minus w of g minus e, right? So we can write that substituting back into this, okay, we are substituting this, and this is greater than this, so this if you replace this by this whole thing is again greater than, okay. So what we get is that k is greater than n. In place of this we write this minus w of g minus, this is okay minus 1. Okay, so k is greater than n minus w of g minus 1. Take 1 left hand side, so k plus 1 is greater than or equal to n minus w of g. What is this k plus 1? It is nothing but q. Q is greater than n minus w of g, which is our required result. Hence for q is equal to k plus 1 also our theorem holds. So this is the theorem. Is that clear? This theorem we can prove this parallelly. So this is your home task. Is that clear? Okay, next we will prove this theorem. In this proof, what is given is that let G be a graph with n vertices. Then we have to prove that the following are equivalent. 1 implies 2, we have to prove 1 implies 2, 2 implies 3, and 3 implies 1. We will prove these things, okay? They are equivalent. If G is a tree, 1 into G is an acyclic group with n minus 1 ages. I think first one is from the definition of tree. We can prove that first 1 to 2. Let's check from 2 to 3. G is an acyclic graph with n minus 1 edges. Okay. Okay. Let us suppose that W of G denote the number of components in G. Okay. Then from previous theorem, G has, if W of G be the number of components, then from previous theorem we can write that n into W of G is the number of edges. At least this establishes that since W of G is equals to 1, because what is given, G is an acyclic graph. Acyclic graph with n minus 1 edges. Okay. So it is given that, so from here we can say that W of G is equals to 1. Okay. W of G is equals to 1 means that G is a connected graph with n minus 1 edges. Clear? So from 2 to 3, also it is simple. So let us check from 3 to 1. Let us assume that G is a connected graph with n minus 1 edges. Now we have to prove that G is a tree. So to prove that G is a tree, we have to prove that G is an acyclic. G is acyclic. We have to prove that G is. We will prove that G is acyclic. Let us prove that G is not acyclic. Let us assume that G is not acyclic. It is cyclic. G is acyclic means G contains some kind of a cycle like this. Okay. So if you subtract one edge from this G, then still this G is connected because it is a cycle. So if you remove this, like one edge is over here, if you remove it, then G is still connected. Okay. But G minus E has how many number of edges? Because G has n minus 1 edges. If you subtract 1 E, then it has n minus 2 number of edges. Okay, and number of vertices is n vertices. Okay, so this is a contradiction. Why? Because what we have done one corollary before this theorem, that if G is a connected graph with n vertices, then it has n minus 1 edges. In this case, G minus E is a connected graph with n vertices and the number of edges is n minus 2. So it is some absurd. Okay, so that's why G is cyclic. Clear? Okay, next we will define spanning tree. Okay, but before that, a subgraph H of G is called a spanning subgraph if V of H is equals to V of G. That means vertex set will remain same in that subgraph. It doesn't matter how many edges is there in H and what are the edges in H. Okay, but the vertex always remains same. Just for an example, if I draw a figure, suppose this is one graph. This is G, and this is another graph. This is H. That means this H is a spanning subgraph of G because the vertex set is same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Vertex set is same in H and G. Okay, that's why this is called spanning subgraph. Now, what is a spanning tree? A spanning tree of G is a spanning subgraph of G. That is a tree. That means any subgraph, any spanning subgraph of G is called a spanning tree if that subgraph is a tree. So I think you are clear about what is a spanning tree. The vertex set always remains same in the subgraph and the graph. Okay, so now we will prove one theorem. A graph is connected if and only if it has a spanning tree. So this is very much important theorem. Any graph is connected if and only if it has a spanning tree. So if it has a spanning tree or it has a spanning subgraph which is a tree, then that graph is always connected. Okay, suppose that G is connected with n vertices and q edges. So the proof is simple. Let us suppose that G is connected with n vertices and q number of edges, then from some previous theorem we can write that q is always greater than or equals to n minus 1. Yes or no? Okay, this was done. So there are two possibilities, that either q is equals to n minus 1 and either q is greater than n minus 1. So number of edges is equals to n minus 1. If number of edges is n minus 1, then again by some theorem G is a tree, or this previous theorem we have done that the three statements are equivalent. From there also we can say that this graph is a tree. Okay, this G is a so we can take that T is equal to G as a spanning tree of G. So we can write this T as Z, which is a spanning tree of Z. T is a that spanning tree is itself G. G is that spanning tree of G. Clear? So this first part is proved. Now for Q greater than n minus 1. If Q number of edges is greater than n minus 1, then we can say that G is not a tree. So in this case, G is not a tree. Okay, because for tree number of edges must be n minus 1. So in this case, G is not a tree. So what you do is that what we need? We need a spanning tree. So we need a some subgraph of G which is a spanning tree, which must be a spanning tree. Okay. So what you do is that, and since G is not a tree, so G contains cycle. So take one edge E1 from this edge, or just take it as E1 from this graph, and what you do is that take a subgraph. Okay, first one G, and now subtract this edge E1 from this graph G minus E1. So since G is cycle, so G minus E1 is still connected. Yes or no? And it has how many number of vertices? N number of vertices, and how many number of edges? Q minus 1 number of edges. Okay, we have subtracted E1, that's why it is Q minus 1 edges. So again there are two possibilities. Since G is connected and it has n number of vertices, so from that previous theorem, this number of edges is always greater than or equal to n minus 1. Okay, if Q minus 1 is equals to n minus 1, then this G minus E1 is a spanning tree. Is that clear? Because we haven't deleted the vertices, we have only deleted edges. So vertices remain same. Okay, if Q minus 1 is equal to n minus 1, then this G minus E1 is a tree. But if Q minus 1 is greater than n minus 1, then again we'll take another edge E2, and again we'll subtract from this G minus E1. Okay, and then again we'll get another subgraph, which is G minus E1 minus E2. This is another subgraph, and its number of edges is Q minus 2. Again this is connected because G minus E1 is a cycle. Okay, it is not a tree, it is a cycle, connected cycle. If it is not a tree, then it is a cycle. Okay, so G minus E1 is still connected, it has n number of vertices. Yeah, so from that previous theorem we can prove that, we can say that this Q minus 2 is greater than or equal to again n minus 1. If it is equal, then G minus E1 minus E2 is the spanning tree. If it is not equal, then it is greater than, then again you can subtract another edge. So this process continues. Okay, eventually we produce a subgraph T which is connected, has n vertices and n minus 1 edges. Is that clear? Okay, so in this way we can find a spanning tree in any connected graph. Now converse part. So what is the converse part? See, if G has a spanning tree T, then any two vertices of G means this belongs to G means these two vertices also belongs to T, because vertex set is same in the graph and its spanning tree. Is that clear? And since this T is connected, because T is a spanning tree, it is always connected acyclic. Okay. Thus U and V are also connected by a path. So this U and V are connected in T. That means there is some path which connects U and V in T. As since T is a subgraph of this G, so this path is also in G. That means G is connected. Okay. So the converse part is easy, and that one, the necessary part is a little bit lengthy, but it is easy. Is that clear? There is one theorem. I want you all to try to prove this theorem. I want you all to prove this theorem. Okay. Now, okay, I just give you. Want to give you some examples. You know K4. It is a complete graph with 4 vertices. This K4 has 16 different spanning trees. It has 16 different spanning trees. Okay. Similarly, K6 has 1, 2, 9, 6 spanning trees. Now, if the vertices are not labeled, that means if the name is not given to the vertices, then this K6 has only 6 spanning trees. Okay, so this is from here also you can check the difference between labeled graph and non-labeled graph. Okay, so K6 has 1, 2, 9, 6 labeled spanning trees, while K6 has only 6 non-labeled spanning trees. Okay, so this was for today. In our next class, we'll start with a different topic.